Hello everyone, my name is Paul and this is my second Booktube video that I'm making, and what I'd like to talk about today is I'm at that period where I'm just finishing one book and about to start another one, and I always think that that's such a nice time, you know, because you're digesting the book you've just finished and you're anticipating the one that you're about to read. So I thought I would talk a little bit around that today and show you the stuff that I'm on at the moment. I'm not one that's going to have huge lists of TBRs, or, you know, I'm actually quite a slow reader, so I would only really get through maybe one or two, maybe 3 books in a month, which is very slow by Booktube standards, but there it is. You know, it's just the kind of the reading that I like to do. I like to read things slowly, digest them, and really ponder on what I've just read, and that's just the way I am. But so the book that I've just finished is this one, Stan and Ollie, The Roots of Comedy by Simon Lufish. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's the best I can do at the moment. I really enjoyed this. I'm a huge fan of Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, and I haven't read anything around their lives before. This book is clearly a biography. Its focus is on how their style of comedy has developed, how they put together their ideas, etc., and also goes into their personal lives as well. So yes, it was a fascinating book. The cover there is, I think, a little bit misleading. It's got Oliver Hardy looking quite menacingly over the shoulder of Stan Laurel, suggesting quite a bit of ill feeling, I think. That's the impression I get from looking at that cover. But actually, as far as I can gather, they had a very good relationship. Good working relationship, good social relationship. Although they both had difficult lives in certain ways. But I suppose one message of the book is that comedy is a great thing to defuse hard times, and they did some of their best work when they were going through their most difficult periods of their life, which is quite interesting. So yeah, it's quite inspirational that way. One thing that I do like about the book is there's an example here of the pictures, the photographs that are kind of added into the text of the book. There's no central pages with a whole load of photos, and the photos are included where they're relevant in the story. That's one of my favourite ones, actually, with Stan and Ollie and the movie producer Hal Roach under the spotlight there. That's a nice picture. There's also, that's quite a good one as well, shot from the movie with and I love that kind of comedy. You know, I find a lot of comedy today possibly a bit on the crude side, maybe a bit explicit, and I like this simpler kind of presentation of comedy that's, I suppose, appeals to my appreciation for silliness. I like comedians that have a silly sense of humour, and maybe quite a simple sense of humour, because everyone laughs at simple things. That's something that never changes, and so yeah, this is great. Great book for anyone that's interested in Stan and Ollie, for anyone that's interested in cinema in this era. the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. It's a great book, well worth a read. So I was very satisfied with that. The only slight criticism I would make is that the author has felt the need through different stages in the book to give you a summary of the plots of the movies, which I felt was maybe, at times I felt that was unnecessary and that could have gone into an appendix at the back. But that's the only negative that I have with this book. Again, it's another one that is extremely well researched, so it's a good read. The book that I'm about to start is Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King. Now, for me this is an interesting choice because I guess when I first started my adult reading life, if I can put it that way, Stephen King featured heavily. Books like Insomnia by Stephen King, Dolores Claiborne. I loved those books, and it really opened doors to other things in the book world for me. I can't say now that I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Some of the later books unfortunately disappointed me. Books like The Cell and Under the Dome. I thought the ideas for those books were great, and I enjoyed those books actually for the most part, but as many people say, the endings kind of let me down somewhat, and I didn't really feel satisfied with the ending, and for me that just kind of spoiled the whole book, and so I started to shy away from Stephen King. Now this book has had very mixed reviews, and some negative reviews from some hardened Stephen King fans, but there's something about the concept of the book, this idea of the female half of the world coming under this spell where they fall asleep on a permanent basis, and how does that get resolved? Does it get resolved? That idea intrigues me, and so I want to give it a try. Plus, despite the heavy criticism for this book, I am a kind of reader that I'm the type of person that likes to make up his own mind on things, I guess. So I'm going to give this a try. Mainly, as I say, because the concept for the book I find really intriguing. And there's a couple of interesting points with this one as well. And I say this before having read it, of course. One is that what is clear from the introduction is that there's an extraordinary number of characters in this book. Now, I don't know if for me that's going to be a good thing or if it's going to be a bad thing, but it's interesting. You know, how am I going to feel with so many characters filtered through the book? The only book I've read that had quite a large number of characters in this way was The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens, although a very different book. That story involved a journey where the main characters met several people that popped in and out of the book along this journey, and I liked that. You know, new characters came and went all the while that all the way through the story. So to me that was it kept the interest level high, and so I don't know how it's going to be with this book, but we'll soon find out. And the other notable point, as people will know, is that this is co-written with his son Owen King, and it will be interesting to see how much of Owen comes through in this book and how it's different in any way from the other Stephen King books. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Am I going to agree with the popular opinion, or am I going to have my own thoughts? We'll soon find out, and perhaps I will report back. Let's see what happens. So that's all I really have to talk about today. If you've made it this far in the video, well done, and thank you for watching. And as usual, feel free to get in touch, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know what people think. And that's it. So take care, and maybe I'll see you in another video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.